After Shaq Fu 2, I've been left scratching my head. How can a game that is so notoriously bad get a sequel? That is something that I will never understand. But at least we can rest assured knowing that all good games will get a second showing, right? Well, sadly that's not always the case. Sometimes a great game can go without a successor. So here are my 5 favorite games that never got the sequel that they deserved. Let's kick things off with the biggest franchise in all of entertainment, Pokemon. Wait a second, Pokemon has plenty of sequels. Even the spin-off games have sequels. Well, not all of them. There's one game Pokemon fans have been clamoring about for a long time. Pokemon Snap, an N64 game where you take pictures of Pokemon. Professor Oak tasks you with gathering pictures of wild Pokemon for his research. You agree to help this sicko out because, hey, it's a paycheck. There are different destinations that you set out to on a rail cart that constantly moves, and you try and take the best pics you can. After the course is done, the professor grades your work. The goal is to snap them all and get the most points. The game doesn't have all original 151, but there are a fair variety of Pokemon, with unlockable new areas, you can evolve Pokemon, and you can even try and get special poses like Surfing Pikachu. I bet that dirty Professor Oak pays extra for those. The game was a breath of fresh air from the usual Pokemon games because it was relaxing. And the camera capture is way more Pokemon friendly, rather than confining them into a tiny orb and making them battle for your love. Why they don't make another, I don't know. The game sold over 3 million copies. A second game would have been excellent, especially for the Wii U using the gamepad to point and shoot. Hell, I would love an app like Pokemon Go where you snap pics of Pokemon in the real world. Guess Nintendo just wants Pokemon to battle to the death. Number 4, Comix Zone for the Sega Genesis. A game that throws you into the world of comics, literally. While Sketch Turner is drawing his comic on a dark and stormy night, a lightning bolt hits his book. The villain of your story then pops out into the real world. Ah yes, the classic lightning bringing things to life. He wants to kill you because of reasons, so he pulls you into the comic. Sketch is then mistaken for the hero of the book, and now must throw down with his own creations to escape the pages of this nightmare. There is a ton to love about this game, but the best part, bar none, is the phenomenal comic book aesthetic. The graphics are fantastic and detailed, with word balloons as the characters chat. You can hop over from panel to panel. You can tear off a piece of the background, and it's actually made of paper, which you can then make into a paper airplane. And enemies appear by a hand drawing them right onto the screen. It leans so hard into the comic vibe, and it does an amazing job. The only issue I have with it is that it's unbelievably difficult. One life, no continues. Brutal. Unfortunately, Comix Zone's future is controlled by Sega, the bastards who have so many unused franchises, so I have no hope for a sequel. Sega does insist on throwing this game on pretty much every compilation they do, so I know they know it exists. Number 3. The Guardian Legend for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Part adventure game, part space shooter. A mashup of 2 different genres at a time where it was rarely done. And even more surprising is how well they pulled it off. You control the Guardian on a quest to destroy a huge planet-like ship that is hurtling towards Earth by activating the 10 self-destruct switches. The game is divided into 2 sections. The overworld, which takes a top-down perspective, and the corridors, which are space shooting levels. In the overworld, you explore 10 different areas in an attempt to find new weapons, upgrade attack and defense power, fight mini-bosses, and locate the corridors. Once you find a corridor, your character then transforms herself into a spaceship, a perfect segue into the vertical shooting levels. These are very straightforward shooting sections with an alien boss at the end, and beating it will give you a key to unlock a new area in the overworld. What's awesome about this game is the sheer variety of power-ups which can be used in both sections. And when first starting out, you're a complete wimp. It takes a lot of shots to put down an enemy, and very little to kill you. But there's a really nice sense of progression, as you feel each new ability making you stronger and stronger, adding to the fun. It's fantastic on all fronts, graphics, gameplay, and soundtrack. The only downside to this game is the absurdly long password system, but the Guardian Legend can be beaten in one sitting. The likelihood of a sequel is probably non-existent, and I think the creepy old man eyes on the box are to blame for lack of sales. What kid wants to play a game with them creepy peepers staring back at you? I know I didn't. Number 2. Mole Mania for the Game Boy. A lesser known Nintendo game that was actually produced by the big dog at Nintendo, Shigeru Miyamoto. Mole Mania stars Muddy Mole, and the story is a real tearjerker. Mean old farmer Jinbei has stolen Muddy's babies and his wife. I guess they got into his crops or something, but the dude has taken it too far. Muddy charges in to save his family from that piece of crap farmer and use his mole powers to do so. Oh yeah, digging. There are 8 worlds which are made up of a number of puzzles, each taking up a single screen. You attempt to get Muddy to the exit of each screen, which is blocked by a wall. The goal is to push a bomb to the exit wall and blow it up. To do so, you strategically dig underground without letting bombs fall into the holes you made. It starts out simple enough, but later levels start adding other elements, like barrels, which you can use to fill up a hole, but it will block off your underground tunnel, pipes, which can make thrown objects turn corners, and of course a slew of baddies standing in your way. There are also boss battles, which are far easier than some of the puzzles, but the change of pace adds urgency. Because the cool part about this game, besides the boss levels, you're never under any duress. You can take your time with each screen and map out your plan. Mole Mania was a perfect fit for the Game Boy, because it's fun in really short bursts, or even a long session. A sequel is a long shot, but with Nintendo, you learn to never say never, because they have been known to pull an old game out of nowhere and give it a sequel, like with Kid Icarus. Make sure to give Mole Mania a chance. I'm sure you'll dig it. Number 1. Gitaroo Man for the PlayStation 2. Gitaroo Man follows the story of U1, a young boy who is hated by all for being a pathetic loser. That is until he finds out he is the descendant of the legendary Gitaroo Man. His pup named Puma reveals all and hands U1 the fabled Gitaroo, which he must use to defeat aliens trying to conquer the universe with sick guitar shredding. Gitaroo Man is a rhythm game with a slightly different approach. Typically in these games, you are required to hit specific buttons in time with the song. That's part of Gitaroo Man as well, but here you also use the PS2's left analog stick so you can trace a line that's following the flow of the song as you're hitting those time button presses. So if you aren't exactly lined up, no matter if you press the button in time or not, you'll get a miss on that note. It's incredibly unique and requires a bit more focus as your attention is divided. There are a lot of rhythm games out there, and many of them can baby you, giving you only a slight slope upward in difficulty with each passing level. But not Gitaroo Man. It comes out swinging so hard, only to amplify the challenge tenfold in the next stage. It will give your fingers a workout as you try to keep up, but it makes the feeling of victory that much sweeter. Music is the backbone of a rhythm game, and Gitaroo Man has an incredible soundtrack written by the band Coil, with an eclectic blend of styles from rock to reggae to jazz. There was a port to the PSP, but I'm not holding my breath for a sequel to this, as the sales numbers were abysmal, and that's in part due to the lack of copies produced by Koei. So I guess unlike other gaming heroes, Gitaroo Man only needs one try to save the day. 5 great games, no sequels. What a bummer! In a world where we're bombarded with sequels at every turn, it's a shame to see a game that I love not get the sequel it's worthy of. What do you guys think about my list? Are there any games that you think deserve a sequel that haven't gotten one yet? Let me know down in the comments below. I'll see you next time, and remember, it's all fun and games. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to check out my review of Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn. And if you like It's All Fun and Games, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks again.